We're learning more about the 2 people killed in a mass shooting in Central Texas at a Juneteenth celebration over the weekend.
14 others were wounded and are expected to survive.
In Oakland tonight, dozens of police officers, multiple ambulances, and several city blocks closed after violence erupts during a Juneteenth celebration.
A 17-year-old boy is dead and a 15-year-old is hurt after a shooting at Washington Park.
The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office says it was called in for a fight. Last night, a Juneteenth celebration called this where the city was shut down. Sheriff's Office says a 17-year-old suspect started shooting. A detective shot at that suspect but then missed.
The suspect is in custody in connection to the mass shooting that killed 2 people at a Juneteenth celebration in Round Rock last weekend.
Okay, so Juneteenth, this holiday is so irrelevant to me that I wasn't going to talk about it. It was just another day. I didn't even notice. The day was almost over. I was like, wait a minute, it's Juneteenth. I saw stuff online like, damn, okay, I guess. But the reason why someone like me doesn't give a damn about Juneteenth is because it's nothing but pandering. This holiday was created by white Democrats as part of the division of the United States, the George Floydification of America, when Black Lives Matter was running rampant, when Ibram X. Kendi was going around sowing division, anti-whiteism, spreading anti-whiteism across the country, when Nicole Hannah-Jones was pushing revisionist history with the 1619 Project. So all of this seemed to be happening around the same time when people were getting filthy rich off the deaths, the blood of black men, dead black men, like George Floyd and like many others, where they promote a bunch of left-wing activist policies and sow further division in the country, push against the police, stuff like that. It seems that Juneteenth sprung out of all of that because white Democrats saw an opportunity to further pander, to say, look, we love black people, never vote Republican. I have those Negroes voting Democrat for 100 years, like LBJ said back in the day. But I don't give a damn about this holiday. White Democrats told black people, look, we know that the vast majority of you, probably 95, 99% of you didn't even know about the holiday, didn't even celebrate the holiday, didn't care about the holiday, but we're telling you that it's important, so you should do it. All of a sudden, over the last 3 years or so, festivals going on, all types of merch products, Walmart selling stuff, Target selling t-shirts. You got anti-4th of July, anti-Independence Day shirts going around saying the real Independence Day is June 19th because white Democrats told black people it's important. So people make fun of it, talk about, well, it's not really the day that the slaves were free. This is 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation when news arrived in Galveston, Texas. So the slaves really weren't free. And plus, after that, Indians still have slaves. So people try to say, well, it's not really a true Independence Day for black people anyway, because you still had slaves after that. But honestly, I push back against that because the date is arbitrary. It's really irrelevant. It's really the thought of ending slavery. We're celebrating ending slavery. We're picking this date, June 19th. We're going to pick this date to be the date that we talk about slavery ending in the United States. Whether it was a year before that, a year after that, is really irrelevant. It's kind of like Christmas. We celebrate Christmas, the birth of Jesus, on December 25th, when there are all types of arguments, all types of reasons to believe that Jesus was not born on December 25th. But it's arbitrary. Just like the resurrection, Easter, we can't pinpoint an exact date for these events. But we just pick a date. And we say, this is the date that we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. Just like they said, this is the date that we celebrate the ending of slavery in the United States. So I'm not going to make fun of them for that. So if you want to do June 19th, go for it. But I don't care about this holiday because it's doing nothing but sowing left-wing division in the United States, pushed by white Democrats. In fact, we're going to get into this article in a second from the Associated Press, a paper, website owned by white people, telling black people and others, I guess, how they should celebrate Juneteenth. Weird. But I've been looking at all these festivals, looking at things going around. Of course, we got a whole lot of violence, a ton of violence, mass shootings all over the country going on Juneteenth. But we have these celebrations going on, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, damn, it seems like you have to really think deeply. When someone asks you to talk about black culture, what exactly is black culture? What are some typical things that exemplify black culture? You really have to pause to think about it, because African culture, the slaves, their culture, their language was lost centuries ago. Lost in the sands of time centuries ago. And now it seems like a lot of these people celebrating Juneteenth, a lot of black people, they're trying to search for something, trying to pick something. You got people going around wearing the Pan-African colors, waving the Pan-African flags. You got other flags. I even saw the African Union flag. Then you got the USA flag in different colors. People walking around with African garbs. And I'm just thinking, people don't even care about this stuff. People don't care about Africa, Pan-Africanism. They're not trying to separate from white people. They're definitely not trying to go back to Africa or anything like that. They don't care about African food, African garbs and stuff like that. They just wear it on these certain dates. And I'm thinking, is this really modern black culture? Is this really historic black culture in the United States? It seems like you're trying to search for something to celebrate. You can talk about the music back in the day, the jazz, the blues, but most black people don't care about that nowadays. The music that's popular for the last couple of decades anyways, rap, hip hop, R&B, very sexual and extremely violent, their music. So it's really nothing to be proud of. So you got people walking around in African garbs, dancing to music that they don't care about. I guess you can say a lot of the black Christians, they're listening to gospel, so that's ingrained in black culture. But a lot of this stuff, it seems like you're just trying to pick things to say, oh, this is black culture, but most black people don't care about it. But I'm not really sure. And the main problem is there's a ton of activism involved in Juneteenth and celebrating black history, because identifying as black has become synonymous with identifying as Democrat. So a lot of these Juneteenth activities, you got people going around in African garbs and they're protesting Republicans, they're protesting Trump. Oh, Trump is bad, he's racist, get rid of the white man. While they sit there and go along to the pandering of the white Democrat man. So let's get into this article here from the AP, the Beginner's Guide to Celebrating Juneteenth. So we got an article by a white paper telling black people, look at it here. See, we got the Pan-African flag. Telling black people what they need to do to celebrate Juneteenth. For more than 1.5 centuries, the Juneteenth holiday has been sacred to many black communities. I'm from the South. I've heard of Juneteenth here and there when I was a kid, but nobody gave a damn. Nobody did anything at all. It's kind of like Arbor Day. You see it on the calendar, you're like, what the hell is that? And you move on. Nobody cares. Black people care way, way, way more about the 4th of July. You barbecue, you have events, you have cookouts, pop firecrackers, do all that on 4th of July. Juneteenth, nobody gives a damn, and most people never heard of it. But apparently more than a century and a half. It marks the day in 1865 enslaved people in Galveston, Texas found out that they had been freed after the end of the Civil War and 2 years after President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah, so like I said, we can poke holes at this, talking about, well, that's not really when the slaves were free. But again, that date is arbitrary. Pick a date. You want to celebrate when slavery ended, June 19th, whatever, pick a date. Since it was designated a federal holiday in 2021 by white Democrats, Juneteenth has become more universally recognized beyond Black America. Many people get the day off work, school, and there are a plethora of street festivals, fairs, concerts, and other events. Now, I would say if you're going to go to one of these festivals, be careful. You might want to wear a helmet and bulletproof vest, because mass shootings everywhere. I guess that falls into the stereotype. People say, well, this is black culture, you know, Black lives only matters when a white person kills a black person, but black people shoot each other every day and they have mass shootings every weekend, and that's part of black culture. So I guess all these mass shootings during Juneteenth festivals was part of celebrating the culture. It's like, look, we do this every weekend, so why not on Juneteenth? People who never gave the June 19th holiday more than a passing thought may be asking themselves, is there a right way to celebrate Juneteenth? For beginners and those brushing up on history, here's some answers. So if this holiday is so widespread, it's been going on for a century and a half, 150 years, allegedly. If it's such a big deal, why do you need white people to give a beginner's guide to Juneteenth? Interesting. But I'm not going to go through this article. I just want to skip down a little bit. A lot of history, talking about things, but let's look at this part here. Are there any food served on Juneteenth? Aside from barbecue, the color red has been a through line for Juneteenth food for generations. Again, really? Generations? I thought it was 3 years. This thing was completely irrelevant. Nobody heard of it until 3 years ago. All of a sudden, there's generations. You see how these people lie and use wording in subtle ways to deceive people. Red symbolizes the bloodshed and sacrifices of enslaved ancestors. A Juneteenth menu might incorporate items like barbecue ribs and other red meat. I don't know, man. Not too much red meat. It's not really healthy for you. Watermelon and red velvet cake. They really went there. Drinks like fruit punch and red Kool-Aid may make an appearance at the table. Wow. Oh, so watermelon and red Kool-Aid. You know what? Honestly, if you want to celebrate Juneteenth, I wouldn't recommend this. I would not recommend super sugary Kool-Aid, all that red meat. Black people have a lot of diabetes issues, a lot of high blood pressure issues, and we need to modify what's traditionally known as soul food, black food, whatever. I don't know, man, but damn. This reminds me, I think it was IKEA a couple of years ago when they tried to pander and they tried to show how woke they were. So they had a luncheon for their employees and customers, and they were serving fried chicken, watermelon, and Kool-Aid. God damn, bro. They got in trouble for that. But you see how bold these people are? These white Democrats can write anything. And they're saying here, well, even if you ain't black, in the words of Joe Biden, you ain't black, but you can still celebrate Juneteenth by going to a black business, not by looting it like those black businesses in Chicago and Baltimore. They're always looted and robbed by other black people. No, don't do that. Just go spend some money at the black businesses. But yeah, man, that's the article. These people are wild. But here's the thing about black culture, because there are these traditional things that people try to conjure up, and I'm not really sure they're necessarily black culture, especially today's day and age, because black people don't give a damn about these things. The old music, the African garbs, the old art, and all that. Nobody cares, generally speaking. But I think in the United States, the races are so intermixed, especially white people and black people. The races are so intermixed. There's more of an American culture. Think about this. Black people and white people share a lot of the same values, the same ideals when it comes to food, religion. You're eating the same stuff generally. Most white Americans are Protestant Christians, going to church on Sundays, doing all of that, same as black people. The music might be a little bit different, but you have the same religion, generally eating the same type of American style food, same breakfasts, same types of dinners and stuff like that. Holidays and traditions, 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of the big American holidays. Those holidays are huge traditions for white people as well as black people. So I think generally there's not really a quote unquote black culture. It's more of an American culture. Even in music, in a lot of senses, a lot of white people adopt this hip hop, the R&B, the music that black people like. Black people started with rock and roll back in the day, really big among white people too. And even when you look at sports, when you look at some of the cultural icons, it's an American culture, not really a white culture and a black culture. That's doing nothing but sowing division. And like I said, having shirts and stuff with 4th of July crossed out, saying, no, that's not really Independence Day. Independence Day is June 19th. Now, I get what they're saying. Yeah, our ancestors were enslaved back in 1776, but America has come a long way. Yeah, there's some good, some bad, some ugly throughout American history. But the country has done a whole lot to try to become the freest society in the world, the least racist society in the world, no slavery. You can go back 100 years ago. Today is much better. 50 years ago. Today is much better. Talking about Jim Crow laws, segregation, opportunities for black people, no interracial marriages allowed back in the day. So things have gotten way better. The government of the United States, the people in the United States have gotten way better. So it's okay to be black and celebrate the 4th of July. Even though hundreds of years ago, yeah, your ancestors were slaves in 1776. But today the country has done so much, and the black people in America, along with the white people in America, have made so much strive together, whether that's through wars, whether that's through building traditions, working together to innovate things, building up society. So it's completely okay. Black people and white people in the United States share this American culture, and nothing's wrong with that. And I think the best thing for black people to do, if they want to celebrate Juneteenth, you don't have to walk around pretending that you like African garbs, that you like this type of music, drums, and all of that. You don't have to pretend. If you want to honor the ancestors from back in the day, you don't have to sit around saying, oh, woe is me. My great-great-great-great-granddad was a slave. It was so terrible. You don't have to sit around crying about that. What your ancestors will want you to do is to take advantage of the freedom that they never had. Freedom you have that they never had. Opportunities that you have that they never had, to learn about history, to better yourself, to better your life, and pass it on to the next generation. If you want to do anything to honor the ancestors, that's what you should do. Be the best that you can be in this life and in this society. So let me know what you guys think about this. Leave me your thoughts below. Share the video. Thanks for that.